questions and then I'll hop off here. But
Okay.
how was your weekend? Did you do anything special?
So weekend it was good only. How about you?
Awesome. It was good. I hung out with some friends. It was really nice weather in Minnesota, so I just soaked up the sun and had some drinks, maybe a couple too many, but it
Mm-hmm.
was good.
Oh, that's nice.
What about what about you? Did you do anything?
No, I didn't go anywhere. So I stayed with my cousin's family. So we are hanging inside only. So we played some movies and then yeah, that's all.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you got going on the rest of the week here? I can't remember. Are you working on a project right now, or are you just in
Yeah,
between
yeah.
projects
I'm
right now?
working. Yeah, I'm currently in project.
Got it. So you're just working Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So I should be on here shortly. Sometimes, I mean, he's really busy with a lot of the interviews, but I was
Mm.
kind of glad that he was able to
Okay. Did he
post
had
down
any
a
other
time.
interviews earlier?
Yeah, he's spoken with quite a few people.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't decided or given out any offers, but they've spoken with
Mm-hmm.
quite a few people for the positions.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you screened really well. I think they're probably going to be interested, but I guess just post interview, just let me know how you thought it
Yeah.
went.
Sure. Sure. Definitely.
I'm pretty sure it'll be Sai. It might be. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be
Sai
Sai. Sai's
only.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Sai
technical lead.
only. Yes, that's correct. I spoke with him last
Did you
Friday.
guys? Was it short, or did you guys get to have like a conversation much?
Not really. I was middle of something, so I just noticed that he called me, and I just call back, and he was asking me like an availability time, and then I proposed him Monday
Got
would
it.
be a
Okay.
great time. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope it goes well today. Looks like you just popped on here. I'll just wait for him to be on the phone. That's
Yeah.
Sai.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, hi. Yeah, this is Sai.
Hey, Sai. Taylor here with
Yeah,
Apex.
hi.
We have Srinivas on the line as well. So Srinivas, I'm just going to do a couple of security questions and then hop off here. Where are you currently located, Srinivas?
I'm currently working with American Family Insurance.
Got it. And where are you currently located, or where are you currently located?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Perfect. And what is the zip code for the area that you're living in Madison?
53597.
Perfect. Everything checks out. I'll hop off you guys, but have a nice interview. Appreciate the time, Sai.
Sure, no problem, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Have a nice interview. Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, Srinivas. This is Sai here. I'm a senior data engineer for the team that you are getting interviewed for.
Oh, I
So,
see. Hi, Sai.
hi. It's a 30 minutes call, so why don't we get started with your past experiences and get started from there. And I can't see your video clearly. Like, can you put a little bit down the screen?
Oh, it's not clear?
No, not clear. It's showing the row.
Okay. Is it okay?
Okay, so it's okay now.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it looks good now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So get started with your past work experience, and we can get started.
Yeah. Basically, coming to my roles and responsibilities at the American Family Insurance. Excuse me. So American Family Insurance, like, various work I'm doing in terms of the last project. So currently working in the implementation of the continuous integration and deployment pipeline is on the runtime environment. So subsequently, there was a responsible for handling the container in Kubernetes application deployment on top of that. Also, like working on implementation and services. Implementation services of like environment and working on some of these third-party Kubernetes environments, and also like working on containerization and release management. In this case, like also responsible for doing some of the code for the environment to the other unknown, and then try to handle some of these and managing management specific environments, and also like working on third party integration. So on top of that, the containers could be handled there, and then the management could be done in proper way, and also like responsible for doing these managements and deployments and handling the serviceable orchestration, and also work on Docker file creations and the custom Docker build. I'll also responsible for working on Jenkins based with Groovy for the application, and then also like working on the cloud oriented services on the Amazon Web Services, Elastic Compute Cloud, as well as the virtual private cloud, and also like part of this take care of the security groups and network access. Also like working on the Ansible playbooks for the blue-green deployments, and also like Sonar Group, working on like Sonar Q1, also check styles, and also as well as the testing and orchestrations of the application services.
All right, sounds good. So that covers pretty much about the DevOps and cloud experience that you had, especially the Azure. So
Yeah.
is there anything that you worked on AWS?
Yeah, basically, I'm also like working on majority of the AWS services, like not limited to like Amazon Web Services, Elastic Compute Cloud, VPC, S3, and EC2, and integration rules like Elastic Compute Services with the integration and management to work on the third party, and also like work on the management like Elastic Kubernetes, and handling the management and third party Kubernetes environments, and working on server integrations, and also like using a S3 bucket that server integration can be handled properly, and also like S3 bucket integration in the target machines, and also like the approvals, also like working on like some of these Glacier with the Amazon management services. So like also like
So other than these Elasticsearch and the Kubernetes services and S3, so is there anything else that you worked on AWS, something related to big data, data engineering?
Yeah, I use like EC2, Redshift, and Glue, also like Athena, and yeah, also like S3 bucket, and also Kinesis, and also,
can you elaborate the work that you have done on these tech stack instead of just names?
Yeah, basically, let's say that I work on, had a chance to do Spark pipeline, which was there, and is actually getting data from remote services, and trying to use Amazon Redshift for the analysis of the data. So incoming streams of data, so like coming from multiple APIs in the third party. So we had an authentication mechanism which was there, and then also a part of incoming stream of data we have done that some of the transformer of the EPL tools, and inside that we had the exact transformation and load data there, streaming the data inside that, and the some of the runtime environment applications, like transforming the data and define the term, tools that can be handled in the proper way of their transformation, like loading the data, and then using the then use the pair loading of the data, and specific source code, and define there in that.
So you have worked on Spark, right?
Yeah.
Which programming language did you use?
So basically, for the Spark, we're using like Python programming.
So you worked on Python version of Spark. No experience in Scala.
So basically, we use Python programming for the Spark, and able to do extract transform on the load of the pipeline inside that connections, use of the custom pipeline, inside that of the application. So
No,
I'm
I'm
also
saying
working on
like
the
you don't have experience with
Scala
Scala.
programming and Power. Sorry.
So I'm saying like you have only worked on Python but not on Scala.
So mostly on Python, 90% on the Python and rest like 10% on Scala and Java.
So can you name a big difference between those two, like while writing your code?
So basically, the main difference between Java and Scala is that I would like to say that it's the mixture of both object-oriented programming and functionals, and where Java is general purpose of object-oriented programming. In Scala is less readable due to the nested code, whereas Java is more readable. And then apart from that, one of the other differences is say like support and then evaluation, where Java does not support the lazy evaluation and Scala supports the factor loading, and then Java does not support the overloading and any method of function present in Scala. Is,
can you name the differences between Scala and Python?
Basically, I would like to say the main differences are Scala and the Python. The is primarily 10 times faster than Python. Scala, if you take Scala, it's faster than Python. And I would like to say that, data analysis and processing due to Java and virtual machine to performance is actually main reason people would go for that is also the main difference is in input button. Python is, dynamically typed language, and it's a statically typed language, and then Python, no need to specify object in Python because it's a dynamically typed and object oriented. Where we need to specify the type of variables in object in Scala, and the Python is easy to learn, whereas it is difficult to Scala is bit difficult to learn, and extra work is in interpreter and runtime, and no extra work being created in Square, and then it's 10 times it's very faster than the data types also, during the runtime, and this Scala will be there actually dealing with the large process data, and Scala should be considered instead of Python. It's
which one do you think more efficient when it comes to Spark, like Scala or Python?
Basically the more efficient is Scala. Scala is more efficient. So I would like to say that the large data process should be considered instead Python, because no extra work is in there, and it's faster, and then I would like to say that it doesn't have an interpreter, so it is in the recent much faster as compared to the Python. So in the data processing, and almost 10 times fast, and data processing environment search for the application, source code to specify the type of variables and an object, and Scala, because Scala is statically typed and object-oriented programming language, so where it can actually have the typing of the language inside that source code integration.
Okay. So you feel like Scala is more efficient compared to Python when it comes to Spark?
Yeah, definitely it's more efficient compared to the Python when it comes to Spark, because of the interpreter, and Scala actually help to do the various various things. So we can do Java virtual machine, so that it's the main reason.
Okay. So can you explain a project where you worked on Spark with Python? So in order to do the data engineering operations like ETL transformation,
yeah,
and it would be good if it's on AWS.
Yeah, basically, I would like to say that Spark with Python, the direction getting the remote data from the REST API, and inside that, Amazon actually doing the Spark integration with their application inside that. So we are creating the files inside the packet, helping us to get the data, and inside that we are using the text file map and for the dataset operations inside that map by using a custom coaching of the application. And I was responsible for working on the self-contained data in the Park session with the Spark sessions built and constructing that configuration inside that. I was also like responsible for Spark to be contain the specific folder sparked by the SQL Server, some of the RDP programming in that. With this responsibility, I mean, with this Scala and also like different requests to be able to reply that on the target machine for the responsibility on the applications and Spark integration, so that can be handled on the multiple folders inside that for the SQL Server integration.
Okay. So all you did is like writing the data into SQL Server after doing the transformation. Did I get that correct?
Yeah. There is one thing, apart from that, I'll also like, trying to do some of the transformation of the data before writing it, like, data also like, trying to do some analysis of the data, doing some insights creations and pulling of the report and trying to send it to the various stakeholders on the data engineering science team, and then the connection making side of that.
So what kind of file formats did you work in Spark?
So basically, the file formats I worked on that, it can be like various files formats available, but actually responsible for using the CSV file format and also like supporting the other like separated file. And apart from that, had some of the raw text files, and beyond that, it's some of the sequence of the SQL file which help us to support the file format options. For adjusting the data and also like getting the text values of zip files, files and enabling the compression of the splittable. But I'll be like for compressed files inside that for the data integration.
Okay, can you name a couple of compression techniques?
So basically, like the coming to that Spark compression 10 pins, basically generation use of the compression code inside that there is no compression codec, and apart from that, it can also use for using the Spark dynamic loading properties inside that compression codec inside the.
Instead of the complete detailed explanation, can you give the names of the compression techniques?
Like gzip codecs and also the LG4 compression and LG4 compression codec, and so basically using them for providing the Spark default compression and using this for multiple versions of the compression using a single utility.
So what's the default compression you're saying?
So basically, the default compression, what I'm saying is that actually, I would like to say, ID partitions with the broadcast variables for the, and also those things
what is the default partition for default? What is the default compression for Spark?
So it's like, lazy 4 and, yeah. And
okay. So coming to the next question, like, have you worked on partitions and bucketing in Hive?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, Hive partitioning is the data because that case, in my case, a lot of data inside that, and I have to get dividing the tables inside into the related parts of the, based on the two columns like data and then inside.
No, have you worked on partitions and bucketing?
So basically, yes, I have worked on that partitions and bucketing.
On both of them?
Yeah.
So can you explain what is bucketing and where did you use it?
Yeah. So I would like to say that bucketing is actually used for dividing the data into specific types. So basically, bucketing helps us to specifically have the partitions for the manageable, and also like inside that data organization techniques to simulate and prioritizing in Hive with an added functionality that divides a large
Now,
data
where
set.
did you use bucketing exactly? Like in your use case. So I'm not
Mhm.
asking about like where bucketing can be used. In your past experience, where did you use bucketing?
So in my current project, like basically, so where um, some of the large integration environment. So basically, we're actually using it for some of the data, wherein we're trying to get the data from the remote system. Inside that, we're having columns values which require a lot of buckets to be created using the custom hash functions inside that to get the sales data from the remote systems, and then use the required number of buckets are calculated there, and on that and value we can store the data corresponding to the bucket on the specific environment in that bucket values in the dependent on the created values in the hash functions. And
Have you ever worked on bucketing joins?
Basically the bucket joins, yeah, I've done some of things on that bucket.
So where did you use them? And what is the criteria in order to use them?
So, actually, doing the bucket join, a lot of, we have having a lot of aggregate data, from there. Inside that, trying to use the bucket join feature, which will help us to map and some specific data of sales from multiple quarters. So basically, we had the data from bucket using custom conditions inside that, using a custom conditional operator in the join operator, using a MapReduce operator for the tables. Can actually specify the bucket join by using data from multiple sources. Like we can actually define that specifically overwriting some table entries and using division operating for that string inside the MapReducer. Like also like can define the join where a smallest table is loaded in the memory, and then join is done with the birthplace of MapReduce job, and as a new release, as a necessary, the map joins faster than the regular joins.
Okay. So if you had a chance to work with both Hive and Spark for the same operation, which one do you choose?
So basically, if I get an choice, then I would like to say it depends upon the type of operation. About like mostly go with the Spark because it has much expensive stuff. So basically, Spark is actually faster than Hive because it brings the data in memory. So it's good to repetitive processing in the faster preferred over Hive. My experience, I prefer. The MapReduce as the processing engine for the large data load, like 100 of data more than preference. So I prefer Spark for data which is no less than 100 GB, and this is the main criteria.
So if I don't know coding, so if I'm the only SQL knowledgeable person, then I choose Hive. So what do you say in such scenarios?
Um, I would like to say, like look basically that we like to have a look at the Hive data warehouse, and inside that in the look at the ways can the data specific services like the ETA developers and all the things we can use the SQL, and always to be able to interact with the Hive database and try to pull out and data into that, so that we can easily adapt the Hive query language, which can be used and almost similar to the SQL language in that environment. So you can transfer the data, pull out the data, and then write also release the data pipeline out of that.
Have you ever used tickling and untickling in Python?
Coming to tickling and tickling, I'm not, uh, talking, tickling, like say that something which is article for basically use it for tickling answer and data and object serialization, like arbitrary data inside that. So basically, inside that tickling module and system and algorithms for doing the object series of bytes and process are also like called serial division and object, and then tickling model implement the same algorithm in C. So basically, I would like to say that you just store the data in binary format and JSON, and the JSON store the data in a human table and readable text format on the environment, and define that on the third party.
Right. So that's all. If you have any more questions, you can ask me now, or else we can wind up the call.
Basically, I would like to know, what is the team size, and what are the day-to-day steps, and expectations. What is the stack, and these are the questions I have.
So the size of the team, it's probably somewhere between 10 to 15, depending upon which project you'll be working on.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to the daily activities, it's more of a data engineering kind of role. So daily looking up the data, ETL operations,
Okay.
and some very minor operations and maintenance stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
So, what are the next steps for this interview?
So if everything works good for this particular round, so then we will be asked for probably a couple more rounds for technical discussion, and then there will be one round with director, I would say, like the formal regular discussion.
Oh, I see. Oh,
and these technical interview, the next two technical interview rounds may ask you for a little bit of coding.
Okay.
If necessary. Yeah, and
okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's all, Sai.
Right. Thank you so much. And
yeah. Well, nice. Well, nice.